Are you thinking about buying property in Passaic County, New Jersey? Well, before you sign on the dotted line, we need to talk. Today, we're acting as your digital title detectives, and our main goal in this explainer is to save you from some incredibly costly financial surprises. Imagine this for a second. You find the absolute perfect piece of real estate. You close the deal, you're popping the champagne, and suddenly, you discover you've just inherited the previous owner's hidden debts. That is the terrifying reality of property liens. If a seller owes money, that debt can literally attach itself right to the land. So when you buy the property, you might just be buying their debt too. No way, right? But don't worry, we are going to empower you to stop that from ever happening. To get you fully prepared, we're going to follow a straightforward 6-step game plan. Understanding property liens, navigating online resources, conducting a thorough search, interpreting lien information, taking action, and finally, additional resources. Let's dive right in. Okay, step 1, understanding property liens. Simply put, a property lien is a legal claim against a property for an unpaid debt. But here's what makes New Jersey kind of unique. You can think of the state's public records architecture like a giant 3-layer cake. It is highly fragmented. Doing a quick online search on just one website, that isn't going to cut it. You have to look at all 3 layers to see the whole picture. Let's break down exactly where these records actually live. Layer 1 is the county clerk, and they handle voluntary encumbrances, like your standard mortgages. Then you've got Layer 2, the state judiciary, which handles personal civil judgments and lawsuits. And finally, Layer 3 is the municipal tax collector, handling local property taxes and utility debts. The absolute crucial takeaway here is that you must look in more than one place to be completely thorough. Moving right along to step 2, navigating Passaic County's online resources. So let me introduce you to PRESS, which stands for the Public Records Electronic Search System. This is the main interactive electronic database managed by the Passaic County Clerk. When you use this tool, just keep its historical scope in mind. If you're looking for digital images of deeds and mortgages, this system currently has them readily available dating back to January 1st, 1989. For anything older than that, you're usually looking at an in-person visit to the county vault. Now, the PRESS database operates on a dual-tier model. If you just want to do a really quick initial vetting, say you just want to see if a mortgage has been discharged, you can use the free search tier. There's no registration required, but you'll only be able to see the first page, and it's going to have an unofficial watermark stamped on it. But if you need the official, unwatermarked documents, you'll need a registered account. That lets you do full text downloads, though just know that statutory printing and copy fees will be applied to your account. All right, step 3, conducting a thorough search. Here is your step-by-step process for actually using the PRESS interface. Step 1. Search the grantor and grantee indexes. You really have to search both sides of a transaction to find active mortgages or any subsequent discharges. Step 2, and this is absolutely critical, refine your search by the municipality, tax block, and lot. Look, searching by address is okay, but using the block and lot isolates the exact legal parcel of land. And step 3, filter by document type, like mortgage or construction lien, and apply your date ranges to narrow down the results. I've got a fantastic pro tip for you here, straight from our source material. If you're ever forced to do a name-based search, you'll constantly run into variable spelling issues, but you can use the % sign as a wildcard operator on the PRESS system. So if you type out BERGN and then a % sign, the system will return listings for both Bergen and Bergenfield. It is a massive time saver for bypassing those tricky spelling inconsistencies. Now, I have to warn you about the indexing gap. This is a major procedural risk. When a document, like a mortgage or a lien, is physically submitted to the Passaic County Registry Division, it has to be manually processed, scanned, and verified before it actually hits the PRS database. During this gap period, a newly filed lien is legally effective, but you literally cannot see it online. This is exactly why a final gap search is always done by professionals right before closing a real estate transaction. Which brings us to step 4, interpreting lien information. Once you start digging, you have to categorize your findings based on where they actually live. Mortgages and construction liens, you'll find those on the Passaic County PRESS system. But what about civil money judgments? For those, you have to query the New Jersey State Judiciary portal. And for property taxes and utilities, you are going straight to the local municipal tax collector or their ledger. Let's talk about the number 21. The crucial point here is understanding the sheer power of a state-level judgment. 21 represents all the counties in New Jersey. Under state law, a personal civil judgment docketed in the Superior Court in Trenton automatically attaches to real estate in all 21 counties. That means if an owner gets sued over in Essex or Morris County, that out-of-town lawsuit instantly encumbers their property in Patterson or Clifton. And there won't be a single local record filed in Passaic County. Wild, right? And honestly, the complexities don't stop there. There are hidden risks that simply will not show up on a standard county index. For instance, there's Daniel's Law, which redacts the names and addresses of protected law enforcement and judicial personnel from public databases. Also, if an owner passes away, unrecorded estate claims might just be sitting at the surrogate's court. Land surveys and boundary easements, those are handed to buyers at closing and often never recorded. And things like solar panel leases are usually filed as federal UCC fixture filings with the state, not the county. Let's jump into step 5, taking action based on lien information. If you are doing your search and you discover outstanding property taxes or municipal utility charges, red alert. These create what is known as an inchoate priority lien. Why does this matter to you? Because municipal tax debts trump almost everything else. They take legal precedence over recorded mortgages and civil judgments. If they remain unpaid, the municipality can initiate a tax sale certificate, and that can eventually lead straight to foreclosure. But there are some really fascinating recent legal shifts you need to be aware of. Historically, a lien holder foreclosing on a tax debt could just take the title and literally all the equity remaining in the property. However, the U.S. Supreme Court recently ruled that retaining surplus equity beyond the actual tax debt and interest is considered a taking under the Fifth Amendment. Because of this, New Jersey law has shifted. Now they compel judicial sales or internet auctions for these properties, which allows the original property owners to apply for any leftover funds. It's a huge shift in the legal landscape. Finally, step 6, additional resources and contacts. Look, sometimes you just need to talk to a real human being or pull a physical file, right? The Passaic County Clerk Registry Division, they handle your deeds and mortgages, is located at 401 Grand Street, room 113, right in Patterson. Now, if you're dealing with an estate issue or probate demands, you'll need the surrogate's court just down the road at 71 Hamilton Street. And if you're trying to track down a property that's slated for auction, you'll want to call the Sheriff's Foreclosure Unit. And this brings us to a very necessary disclaimer. While we've empowered you to do a ton of upfront research today, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes. A self-service search on the press database is a fantastic starting point for a property investigation, but it absolutely cannot substitute for a professional title examination. Always consult independent title examiners, title insurance companies, or legal professionals to guarantee a property's title is truly clear before you buy. So we've covered the fragmented 3-layer cake of New Jersey public records, we've looked at the quirks of the press system, and we've exposed invisible threats like the indexing gap and Trenton judgments. So I'll leave you with this question. With all these hidden variables and priority municipal liens out there, are you truly prepared to navigate the hidden layers of your next real estate transaction? Remember, be thorough, be curious, and always dig a little deeper. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and we'll catch you on the next one.